The views and opinions expressed by Split Decision and those providing comments are theirs alone and do not reflect the opinions of MyMMAnews.com or any sponsor thereof. MyMMAnews.com is not responsible for the accuracy of any of the information supplied by Split Decision. We're just some idiots who like discussing MMA.
What's up, fight fans? Welcome to another edition of Split Decision MMA, your weekly MMA podcast covering everything from rumors, news, fights coming up, fights that happened, a little bit of everything, right?
Everything.
Everything. We cover everything.
Everything.
We bring it to you live, break it down every week on Friday, live from the SinCal studios.
And if you feel we missed something,
California.
Let us know and we'll bring it up next week.
We'll bring it up next week. At least we'll try to.
Yeah.
So lots to go over. We have fights going on this weekend. We have fights to recap, and then we have all the news that was crammed into the week. And
it was a lot of news this week.
A lot of news this week. Let's get started.
Some number one bullshit.
Number one bullshit to talk about. Obviously, we talked about this last week, how the Nevada State Athletic Commission would be having a hearing covering the Khabib Nurmagomedov and Conor McGregor brawl that happened at UFC 229, as well as covering Jon Jones being able to possibly get a license to fight in the state of Nevada. All of those things came to fruition and have happened, and now we have the results for you. So let's start off with number one. The Nevada State Athletic Commission voted to suspend both Khabib Nurmagomedov and Conor McGregor. However, the suspension is a little bit different for each of them. Khabib Nurmagomedov is suspended for 9 months and fined $500,000. $500,000, 9-month suspension.
First offense.
However,
they
will also retroactive his date to October 6th, so he was able to return July 6th. And they said that they will reduce the suspension to 6 months if he does a local anti-bullying campaign, which I believe would go something like, bullies are number one bullshit, send me location. Okay.
This is my bear. This is my bear on bullying.
Yes.
Number one bullshit.
Number one bullshit. Bullying is number one bullshit, kids. Send me location.
Send me location. Exactly.
So, yeah. And then Conor McGregor, however, was also given a 6-month suspension, but was only fined $50,000.
I don't even understand.
Yeah, a lot of people went to Twitter to talk about this. One of the first...
So again, we have a 2-tier system, and again, this isn't Conor's first fuck up.
No, it's not. However, it is maybe the first in Nevada.
No, but it doesn't matter. You have to
was the can throwing in Nevada too?
I think it was.
Was the can throwing in Nevada? Because the other one was in New York. Remember, New York said, "Well, the cops handled it.
Right,
We
but
don't need
it doesn't
to fine
matter.
Or suspend anybody. We're good."
Like any good DA tells you, when there's a pattern.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a pattern.
Also, Nurmagomedov's cousin, PFL fighter Abu Akbar Nurmagomedov, and his teammate Zabara Tugagov received 1-year suspensions and $25,000 fines. Khabib has offered to pay for both of those. He also said he's going to sit out with his teammates the full year. He does not want to wait or just do the 6 months. However, we do know the UFC is trying to push for him to come back. They're also pushing for Conor McGregor to fight Cowboy Cerrone at some point.
So I was talking about somebody this week. Wasn't there somebody who was suspended and then the UFC needed him to fight, so they went to a commission and actually got somebody's suspension shortened?
I believe that's happened before. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I really do. And then you have Conor McGregor obviously taking the digs that he likes to take. Put this on Twitter almost immediately. He said, "I am thankful for the Nevada State Athletic Commission's fair assessment in handling the brawl incident. It was not my intention to land the final blow of the night on my opponent's blood relative. It's just how it played out. I look forward to competing again soon. Thank you all." Put up this picture and said straight left hand inside the attacker's jab. He attempted to use the big security guard that's in all the movies as cover, but I could smell him a mile away and landed it flush down the pipe. The final blow of UFC 229 in association with McGregor Sports and Entertainment.
Okay, let's stop right there. Anybody who has the video, please go back and watch how many clean shots are landed on Conor McGregor. Because there are a few.
We also have Khabib's reaction. He just said, "Wake me up when it's over." He also tweeted that it's politics, politics forever.
Yeah. That's why he didn't even want to show up. He was like, "Keep my million.
Don't care.
Don't care.
Don't care.
So when he got half of it back, he was like, oh, okay.
I got a little more. I got $2 million allegedly. Only
No, that's what I
fined
mean. But
$500,000.
they originally kept his $1 million.
Yeah, that's right.
And then so he got half the $1 million back.
Yeah.
Well, actually, he offered to pay everybody else's $25,000.
Yeah, so maybe he's gonna be losing a little bit
Yeah.
more there. But still, yeah, it's a little crazy that Conor McGregor. I mean, again, we talk about the whole bus incident. It's like, so Khabib is wrong and Conor is a hero for defending his friend. Can someone explain this? That was Gerald Harris on
Well, that's what I'm
Twitter,
saying. We have a complete two-tier system because not only that, we have him when he rushed the Bellator stage.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about here's Mike Chippetta of MMA News. He's also saying, John Jones was fined $50,000 and only given 40 hours of community service when he started the brawl with DC back in the day, back in 2014.
And again, we have a pattern.
So there's $50,000 instead of the $500,000. The $500,000 is pretty crazy for Khabib to be getting that amount compared to anybody else.
Yeah, but
if they were both given 6 month suspensions and $50,000, I don't think there would be as many people online and a lot of fans being like, "What? Why is one more than the other?"
Right.
They are saying, again, part of the reason is they're trying to say that technically Khabib started it because he was the one who leapt over the cage first, and that's what caused Conor to leap up on the cage, punch his teammate, and then his teammate run in.
I firmly believe whether he jumps out of the cage or not, a brawl starts in the ring no matter what.
You thought it was going to happen regardless?
Yeah.
They've also talked about, because of this, leading up to this, the Nevada State Athletic Commission cited the role of Conor McGregor's heated rhetoric, inflaming the tensions with the other team. He said, one of the Athletic Commission said, "I think it's gotten to the point with a certain unarmed combatants to where it's become totally unacceptable. There's not any other athletes that I'm aware of that have spoken in various press conferences the way Mr. McGregor has, and I definitely think unequivocally that's something we need to take more active role and active in their language."
Me.
Yeah.
Pick me.
Yeah, okay.
How do you think you curtail this?
I don't know.
Fine him $500,000. This is what's ridiculous. These are the guys who could have fined him. These are the people who could have held him responsible. They even say he needs to be held responsible.
Uh-huh.
And they hand down a $50,000
fine.
6 month
Suspension. And of course, Dana White takes the side of, first of all, that's fucking illegal. Actually, he didn't quite say that, but he did say
it's unconstitutional.
I think it's unconstitutional. Legally, you can't do that. It's crazy. It's insane. There's nothing they can do. There are First Amendment grounds that they have to be careful that they are not stepping over the line on. However, the fact that a lot of people think that Conor McGregor's rhetoric and the things that he was saying and pushing are the reason that everything got heated up. I mean, much like the Athletic Commission believes, there's got to be a line somewhere, right?
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
And just to answer your question, Kyle, if Ron Artest jumped out of a ring, he would have at least stepped on 12 people. I don't know if you've ever seen Ron Artest's shoes, but I'm just saying.
And then a little more reaction to this I thought was pretty interesting is Conor McGregor immediately put up on Twitter, or just recently put up on Twitter here, crafted by hand and made from Italian wool fabrics, the August McGregor line, cut to order in suits will be available February 8th, two-piece suits starting at $675. It'll arrive 4 weeks later, just in time for St. Paddy's Day. So obviously he's got to pay his fines off somehow. You can get yourself an August McGregor suit. If you remember at the Mayweather press conferences, he had the "fuck you" pinstripe suit that went viral. That was apparently going to be in his line. That's not the one he's showing here, but he was showing some of those. And also, I do like the shade that Max Holloway was throwing
awesome
towards Conor McGregor. Max Holloway was in Dublin, got to go on a big distillery tour at Jameson, put up pictures of him at the Jameson distillery. They actually gave him a limited edition bottle just for him with his name on it. He got to meet the heads of Jameson, and he put up this tweet that says, 238 years of innovation, hard work, and unmatched quality. Not a watered-down trend.
Yeah.
A true pillar of Ireland, supporting the hardworking families of Dublin for generations. Thank you, Jameson, for the hospitality, the #1 Irish whiskey in the world.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who's actually defended their belt knows Jameson whiskey is the better whiskey. You know what I'm saying?
I thought it was funny. I thought that the shade was thrown pretty well. Good for Max Holloway. Hopefully we do get to see a rematch between Max Holloway and Conor McGregor somewhere down the line. I do think, in my personal opinion, Max Holloway would probably win that fight.
Well, yeah. Everybody's got the diagram now.
Also on the Nevada State Athletic Commission board of agenda here, we have John Jones. Obviously, they're trying to figure out what was going to be going on with John Jones. There was a lengthy 3-hour hearing just on John Jones's case. 3 fucking hours, dude. It was pretty drawn out, pretty boring. They were hammering USADA. They are not happy with how things happen.
There's a reason that you know what I mean? It's going to be Asterisk Jones.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be Asterisk Jones. They said all these things. One commissioner said, if this was anywhere else, your career would be over. But you've backed our asses into a corner, putting this whole thing. Again, some of them do not believe in the pulsing effect. They went over and over again how this whole thing happens. They said there is definitely a significant flaw in the reporting system. There is a clear issue between USADA and the Athletic Commission and the promoters. We're all not on the same page. And in my opinion, what suffers is the credibility by all. Credibility suffers at the Athletic Commission level, and credibility suffers as an opponent, as a fighter, and credibility suffers for USADA. They said it's hard to digest months and months of tests that you decided you're going to hold on to until now to know what it is. We have to get a higher standard for credibility amongst organizations because the public isn't buying it, and I'm not buying it. It's weak and soft.
Right. So, again, I don't know how anybody defends this. I know you want to be a Jones guy and you want to defend him, but if he hadn't cheated at one point, we wouldn't be dealing with the pulsing effect. Mm-hmm. So he did cheat, and that, like that guy just said, that should be the end of it.
Yep. He says interpretation of the results is not something that any testing agency should hold on to before submitting. Whether the fighter is either on suspension or scheduled to fight, it does not matter. There are communication gaps, and there were communication gaps between USADA long before the UFC even hired them to do their testing. We've got to get better at it. They've got to get better at it. Our world, it's really simple. We want the information as fast as we can. The issue is they have to recognize that testing is approved by the state. Testing program can also be unapproved by the state.
Right.
So they're saying that, just to let you know, if it gets to the point where we're unhappy and we're having to hear a hearing to determine that it should perpetuate in Nevada, we're not there yet, and I don't think we're there right now. However,
we could get there real quick.
This is a big bump, and I do not like to take these big bumps happening every single month. Basically saying, because California now has decided that they are no longer going to reply on USADA things, and Nevada may be just one more.
So they're going to do just the VADA?
They haven't said it. Just as California has indicated, it will no longer reply on USADA.
Well, something I didn't know
They're not going to talk about
until we were talking early before the show started was that USADA determines who gets to see the results.
Yeah, and that's what they're saying. That
right.
We should not.
I think that when the results come out, it should be sent to the commission and sent to USADA.
Yep.
And then whatever the commission wants to do with those results, they make their decision.
They don't
need USADA to tell them anything.
Yeah.
And other than, hey, what's the chances that this is just something that showed up out of nowhere?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But to conference, not, hey, we'll slow play our hand.
They also said, because they also said a big part of the contention was that there was a 10-month window between October 2017 and August 2018. John Jones was tested 0 times USADA.
Yeah, and
despite everything surrounding him, all these other fails and all these other things that have happened in his past, you're going to test him 0 times. That is not something that should be happening. They need to be having those testing over that span. Could have provided helpful data to the commission,
right,
and to weigh in on the case and figured out what's going on. However, they have given him a 1-fight license.
Now he has to take two tests a week
so that he can fight at UFC 235. Yeah.
I don't know. I went back. So after the last show, I was just kind of, I wanted to check it out. So I went back to the show where we had first announced that they were no longer going to announce until they knew for sure.
Yep.
And I don't know if you remember, but we had said, this means something's happening.
Oh, yeah, for
This
sure.
means something's trying to be covered up.
Something's being covered up.
And we never said who.
Yep, because we didn't know.
We didn't know, but we just said something. They're trying to build a case to either defend somebody or something's being covered up.
Yep.
And then lo and behold, picogram happens.
Picograms.
So
Picogram 2018.
I mean, and again, dude, I don't want to sound like InfoWars, and I don't want you to put your tinfoil hats on, but I mean, everything that led up to this happening is them to protect their cash cows. They protected cash cow McGregor, which, again, I don't know why. I don't see him continuing to make any money other than, like, if he fights, maybe, you know, like...
I mean, he's going to continue to make money. The UFC is going to throw money at him every time he fights. I guarantee it.
Even if he continues losing?
Yeah.
He's on a 4-fight losing streak right now, right?
No.
3.
I mean, you're going to count Mayweather?
Yeah.
That wasn't under the UFC banner.
It doesn't matter. As a fan...
As a fan, no, because he beat Eddie Alvarez, left to do boxing, dropped both belts, came back and lost to Khabib.
Okay,
that's where we're at. He's on a one.
No, the Khabib loss. That's 2 losses. I don't know.
He's on a 1-fight losing streak.
Okay.
However, he has never defended a belt. Yes.
All right.
Moving on to some more drug testing. Glory. Badahari, Hedzi Gergidis, Milandin Brestovic, and Ariel Machado have been flagged by potential post-fight drug testing failures per the Netherlands or the Dutch Drug Testing Authority, which I think is hilarious.
Because all drugs are legal over there, aren't they?
And then, so instead of doing whatever, they decided to cancel their anti-doping contract. Glory has written to ISR, the Institute of Sports Justice, who handle the anti-doping, and requested they cancel their contract. So I guess... UFC at some point could go the route of Glory, and if you got multiple fighters that are failing drug tests, you can just say, fuck it, cancel the contract, USADA.
He's like,
we don't want to test anymore.
Get rid of the fighters, get rid of the testing. If we get rid of the fighters, we could have more fighters test dirty, but if we get rid of the testing...
Anybody can fight.
Anybody can fight.
Let's get rid of the testing. Let's just drop it all. So that story is still going on. I will continue to follow this and probably bring back some more news for you next week.
The same week they get rid of testing, they introduce the super heavyweight.
Moving on from there, Will Brooks announced that he's a free agent. Will Brooks has fought in Bellator, PFL, and the UFC. Recently put up on Twitter, this was 2 days ago, free agent. I haven't really seen a press release from the UFC. I haven't seen a press release from anybody else. But I do see that Will Brooks is saying he's a free agent.
Who's he going to go lose for?
Where would you like to go see him next?
I don't know. Bare knuckle.
Go. All right. Speaking of bare knuckle, another man got his release. This one in Artem Lobov.
Hey, this guy basically put his name on Craigslist.
Artem Lobov has asked for his release because he didn't want to wait to be added to a card. He didn't want to wait to be added to a card. So he left. He asked for his release. The UFC, now mind you, he's only 2-5 in the UFC.
Do some digging, people.
He asked to be released. He has been released. He has now been tweeting up a storm, trying to find. He says he'll try bare knuckle. He'll do karate combat. He'll do Bellator. He'll do whatever.
Yeah, if you go back and search through, he's probably deleted it now, and I don't know how true it is. Again, this is just all in forums. Somebody informed him that he was about to be released.
I mean, he's 13-15-1 overall in his career.
Okay.
He is 2-5 in the UFC. He has got this weird cult-like meme status for MMA fans as the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time, basically because he's Conor McGregor's training partner.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, look at the laundry list of people he said, I'm ready to do it. I mean, he put it everywhere. He put himself on Craigslist.
He put himself on Fighters Looking for Fights.
Yeah, Fighters Looking for Fights.
Got to get that app going. Man, still got to get that app going. We could be helping Lobov out. He said he'll do boxing, kickboxing,
Testers
whatever.
Looking for tests and Fighters Looking for Fights.
He'll do whatever. And then a little more some interesting news here is that Holly Holm was scheduled to fight at UFC 235 against Aspen Ladd. However, Dana White recently said that the fight is not going to happen. That's why they were not at the press conference. And a lot of people didn't understand why. However, Holly Holm's management came out and said we are in negotiations on a contract extension. She was looking forward to this fight. She was looking forward to fighting Aspen Ladd. However, she's disappointed that the fight's not happening and understands it's a business. We're in the middle of negotiations, and everybody thought it would be best to get through them first. Well, Aspen Ladd was not happy and said, look, I signed to fight you back in December. Now you back out. What's going on? I'm ready. Let's go.
And to me,
rumors are, as part of the contract negotiation that is currently happening, the reason she pulled out of this fight is that she is trying to negotiate a fight against Amanda Nunes for the 135 title at UFC 237 in Brazil.
Okay, but let's backtrack a little bit.
Okay.
So Aspen Ladd's saying that she didn't know that this fight was not going to happen.
Right, until the day of.
Okay, but still, didn't she not realize that they had announced the presser for 235 3 days prior, and nobody was flying her somewhere, right? Right? I mean, they were part of the main card, right?
Yeah.
And she was not on a plane to be at the 235 presser.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
You could show up the day of. How many times has Nick Diaz been on? His plane's late. He got on the plane. We asked him to get on the morning flight. He didn't want to do the morning flight. He got on the afternoon flight. He'll be here. We're sorry he's late for the presser. How many times has that happened? At least twice, right?
But that's
at
Diaz.
least twice. So they could have been like,
Yeah.
your plane's coming. Your plane's coming. We're going to get you a plane. We don't have a fight for you anymore.
That's not true. That's not true.
You don't think that's how it happened?
No, I follow Aspen, lad. She was out walking in the wilderness with her dog.
Because she hadn't got a plane yet. They didn't tell her the plane was ready.
I don't know. I think she's just playing along, and she's and good for her. I mean, way to make your money. But they all know what's going on.
But do you think that's kind of? I mean, I understand Holly Holm and Holly Holm's management being like, well, we had Aspen Lion fight, but if you guys are going to offer us Amanda Nunes, we'll back out of this fight right now and continue negotiations. Or did they say, win or lose this fight, we want Amanda Nunes, and they were like, no, if you lose, you don't have it. And they're like, okay, well, we don't know if we want this fight right now. We want to negotiate the Amanda fight.
I don't know, because I myself think that Aspen Ladd is a power to be dealt with.
I think it was going to be a great fight. I was excited. To me, that was the fight for the number one contendership.
So I think they're just
Amanda Nunes.
They're trying to keep the cat in the cage.
All right.
One more fight longer.
One more fight longer.
I'm sure she's being financially
taken care of.
Yeah.
We'll see. Rizin has announced Rizin 15, which is going down on 4/21 there in Japan. One of the main events, King Mo is going up against Yuri Prochazka.
Did he get released by Bellator?
No, he's representing Bellator.
Oh, that's right. This is
And he's going to be fighting, instead of heavyweight, remember he was in the heavyweight, he's going to be fighting at light heavyweight for the light heavyweight belt. Pretty interesting. Pretty cool. Like it? Don't like it?
Oh, I'm pro Chazka.
Also in that card, Kyoji Horiguchi and Ben Nugent. So that's going to be Rizin 15. We will cover that.
I think it's pronounced Nguyen.
Nguyen?
Yeah.
Right? Ben Nguyen?
Nguyen. Not Nugent.
Nguyen. And before we get into the UFC on ESPN Plus 2, UFC Fight Night 144, UFC, what is it? Fortaleza, Brazil. Before we get to that, we did have a very, very...
Did you do it for the money? No, I did it for Fortaleza.
Interesting press conference for UFC Fight Night London. That's going to be going down in March.
Don't we have a fight to recap?
Yeah, we have a fight to recap.
Okay.
I got stuff.
All right, but
before we get to Bellator.
Okay.
Before we get to Bellator.
Okay.
So yeah, we have Till and Masvidal are the main event, and then you got Edwards and Nelson as the co-main event, right? First of all, I don't know what this reporter was smoking, but I have to read you the question that he asked Jorge Masvidal while it was happening, and it was just very, very confusing. This is the first question. So, mind you, Jorge Masvidal has said in the past that after he beats Till, he hopes that Bisping is somewhere around the cage so that he can slap him up.
Okay.
They've had this going back and forth since like 2017 when they were supposed to fight, and it just didn't happen. Okay, so Bisping and Jorge have had this kind of beef for a long time. A reporter says, "Okay, Jorge, has the actual journey over here, considering how icy it is and how cold it is, has it basically given you a new perspective on Bisping? Is that still somebody you want to slap as soon as you're back on UK soil, or has the weather turned your mind ever so slightly?"
Hey, when did your microdot kick in?
What just happened? Masvidal, I think I'm misunderstanding. Are you asking, did the weather change my feelings about Bisping? And the reporter goes, yeah.
No, I want to know whether or not you still want to slap him.
How so? Well, the reporter says, well, it's kind of icy, so I thought it might kind of make you reconsider, considering how cold it is. What the fuck, bro? Like, what? I'm still trying to... My head is just, like, turning, trying to figure out what exactly he's trying to get out of Jorge Masvidal, or what exactly he's trying to get at.
The only thing I could think of is that because of the recent changeover to tennis for one of our CEOs... that a tennis reporter thought he would show up for an MMA event.
Maybe. It's a possibility.
Because maybe he thinks these fights are done in an open dome.
And one of my favorite things about this also was Darren Till and Edwards got into it because Edwards was calling him out, saying that he called out both guys, that it's not fair that he's co-main, he should be the main event. He's also saying that he should be fighting Darren Till instead of Jorge to determine the number 1 UK fighter currently that's signed to the UFC.
That's not what we're trying to find out here.
They just start going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth in their hilarious British accents, and immediately to just stop them, Jorge Masvidal grabs the microphone and goes, "Does anybody have the Wi-Fi password? Wi-Fi password? Anybody have the Wi-Fi password?" And everyone starts laughing. Even Hardy, Dan Hardy, who's doing the press conference over there, starts laughing and looks at him like, "Are you serious? I don't have the Wi-Fi."
He basically was just saying, "I'm done with these two.
I'm over with these two idiots. Can we just fucking move on?"
Let's move on. Next.
Yeah. So, but anyway, if you get a chance to see that, maybe see if I can put that up on our Twitter or our Facebook page. Let's get over to Bellator. Bellator, what was this? 214. The finale of the heavyweight Grand Prix.
And it was.
We got to watch this live together, man.
Yes.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Got to see this stuff. This was on Paramount Network. Also,
Chris Veladez's dad talking my ear off over here. No, that's a great guy. I was glad to meet him. That's a great guy.
Adel Altamimi defeated Brandon McMahon. Juan Archuleta defeated Ricky Banderas. Jake Hager. Mr. Jack Swagger.
Yeah, but
from the WWE, who came into his own WWE entrance theme and video.
But he's a soccer mom's boyfriend.
But he came into his WWE entrance, dude, with some dude rapping. I'm pretty sure it was R-Truth, which is another fucking WWE guy who was rapping for him. Anyway, he gets his first MMA win, defeats J.W. Kaiser, submission arm triangle, after trying like an arm bar and a choke, went to the arm triangle.
Yeah, he didn't know what he was trying to do.
No, that doesn't work. I got this. I remember this works.
And it was like WWE, because I'm pretty sure that Kaiser told him, no, it's a little bit higher. A little bit higher. No, you got to lock your hand. There it is.
Okay, now I'll tap. Now it looks real. I'll tap.
How many times have we talked about that, where guys are like, they're just waiting for you to lock it in. They're not fighting you. They're just like, are you going to do it? Oh, okay. All right. Finally, you got it. You got it.
Henry Corrales defeats Aaron Pico with a knockout, round 1, 107, shut down the Pico train.
How surprised was Aaron Pico? When they woke him up, he was just like, no, did it? Oh, man.
Damn it.
Man.
And then, of course, the big news. Ryan Bader defeats Fedor Emelianenko 35 seconds in the first round.
That arm was so extended, I didn't even think there was any power on it.
Hits him with his huge left hand, immediately drops him, follows it up with a big bully uppercut from the ground, cutting Fedor's eye, pretty much making him go out. Threw, I think, maybe 2 more punches before the ref stepped in. It was very fast.
Yeah.
But according to missed out because he was at the store buying some stuff for him. I feel bad.
Yeah, Dillashaw started screaming, "Early stoppage! Early stoppage!"
But it was a good fight, and Ryan Bader is now a 2-division champ. He is the Bellator 205. That's light heavyweight, and the heavyweight champion, as well as the Bellator Grand Prix champion. Does that make him a champ 3?
I just give him champ.
Just champ.
You think Ryan Bader has anything for John Jones?
Yeah.
You think so?
He's a little shorter. I mean, but he's got the wrestling skills, I think, to do it.
You think he's got more than Anthony Smith has got for him?
You know, Ryan Bader seems to be doing very, very well as of recently. I mean, he has
his over what he's done with his nutrition and his body right now. He looks the best he's looked.
I mean, he fought John Jones back at UFC 126. That was 2011. Okay, so. And, he got submitted. I think it was a little early. I think now he is coming into his own, and he's doing very, very well. If you look at his last, what is that?
Yeah, but it's hard. I mean, like you said, we're talking...
Last 7 wins in a row. You know what I mean? He did lose to Anthony Johnson.
Meathead took him to decision.
Yeah, but it was still a good fight, man. I don't know. I don't know if he would come back and be able to do well against Jones. I do like Ryan Bader right now. I'm excited for him. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, you and Eric Cowell.
Yep, picked him from the beginning as the dark horse. I want to see what Bellator has to offer for him. Is he going to be the first champ to defend both belts?
Right.
This is the era of the champ. Although we should mention that Dan Henderson is the OG champ, Connor, so stop calling yourself that. Dan Henderson had the Pride middleweight and light heavyweight belts at the time. At the same time, he was the first guy to win 2 belts in a major organization.
Well, didn't Shamrock have a belt in
WWE? Are you going to count that?
Yeah.
No.
Why?
In actual fighting, Dan Henderson.
Back in the day, that was
actual fighting. Dan Henderson was the first to have the double belt. He did lose both of them when he came to the UFC. However, he was the first guy to do it. So he is the OG champ. But I don't think we've ever had a guy defend 2 belts in a major organization. We were, like I said, in the era of the champ. You got DC, you got Conor, you got Ryan Bader, you got Amanda Nunes. Who's going to be the first to defend at least one of them?
I don't think Dana's going to give anybody the opportunity to defend 2 belts. Because look what he keeps doing. As soon as somebody tries to fight somewhere else, then they got to vacate one of the belts to fight.
I see that. I definitely do.
Now, if Conor came back and could be between 2 belts, they would let that happen.
Oh, of course.
They would, because they make tons of money off Conor.
Of course.
Yeah.
Where does Fedor go for here? Does he hang up the hat? Does he go back to Russia?
I think he works on his English, and then people want to be around him.
He says he's ready to retire, I think.
I know, but people want to be around him. Years. People just like him to be at the
be
the
a
matches.
Legends contract like Bellator, just have him sign stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's okay. But do you think he fights again? Or do you think he's done?
I think he should be done fighting.
Yeah.
I think let's keep the rest of your brain intact.
Let him go.
Yeah. Train.
Off into the sunset.
Train people.
Off into the sunset.
Open gyms and commentate a little bit.
Maybe on the Russian broadcast.
Dude, you can teach an old dog new tricks.
Maybe on the Russian broadcast. Moving on from there, UFC. What are we saying again?
Fortaleza.
UFC.
Not a for Karen, is Fortaleza.
Fortaleza.
Lisa.
Sunsao versus Morales 2, ESPN Plus 2, 144, whatever you want to call it, is going down tomorrow.
Okay, so this is like on Fox 2, FS2. So let's see how the numbers hold up this weekend.
Yeah, so both of these are on ESPN Plus. Unless you have ESPN Plus, you will not be able to watch this.
So let's see what the numbers are.
Yeah, that was a big thing that we talked about with a lot of people. Is I want to see retention numbers. We want to see retention numbers because you had all these people subscribe. Let's see if people are going to retain ESPN Plus just to watch this fight.
Did you know the people that were handing out codes were getting money?
Yeah.
They were getting paid for every code they gave out.
Yeah.
I was a little pissed after I found that out.
You didn't know that?
No.
You just thought you were getting a code because he was being nice?
Well, I was glad. I was glad to find out that the account at one point skyrocketed to a lot of money, and then as people started canceling, he was back down to under $100.
But they said that they're actually going to give him the full amount.
Are they?
Yeah.
He didn't tell me that part.
Yeah, I got that part.
That's all right.
Moving on from there.
He's probably going to get a glitter bomb with fart spray.
Prelims and main card on ESPN Plus. So if you decided to keep ESPN Plus for $9.99, you will get to watch this card. Otherwise, look for it in the gifts. Let's start off with catchweight Rogerio Bontorin. It's going to be a lot of names I'm not going to be able to pronounce. So glad we have that framed. Magmedov, Bibliotov. We got Ricardo Ramos going against Said Nurmagomedov. Geraldo de Freitas Jr. going up against Felipe Corrales. Junior Albini up against Jairzinho.
That's the baby, right?
Rosen Staruk. Yeah, that's the baby.
That's the baby.
That's the baby. Morera Romero Barella going up against Talia Santos.
You know how I feel about people with 3 names.
Yeah. Thiago Alves going up against Max Griffin. Hey, recognize
Max
some
Payne,
people.
let's get a win, buddy.
I'm recognizing some people.
Let's get a win.
Marcus Perez going against Anthony Hernandez. Again, all on the prelims. But if you have ESPN Plus, it doesn't matter. You get to watch it all.
How many Anthony Hernandezes are there in UFC?
Livia Ronaldo Souza.
Another 3-namer.
Will be going up against Sarah Frota. Sarah Frota missed weight by 7 pounds.
I thought you're all over the place. It's 8.
7.
Now you checked it again?
It's officially 7. That's what it says.
You walked in here and said 15.
15 pounds!
I said 9. You said 8.
It's 7.
We're doing the show at 7.
It's officially 7. I just read.
Okay.
Sorry. Johnny Walker going against Justin Ledette. Charles Dubronx Oliveira.
I've lost to Johnny Walker a couple times.
Going up against David Tamir. Damian Maia going against Lyman Good. Jose Aldo as your co-main event going against Renato Marciano.
I'm taking Renato.
All right. And Rafael Sunsao going against Marlon Morales.
So I know there was an explanation why Rafael is the head or the main event over Jose Aldo.
Yeah, Jose Aldo asked to be the co-main event because he didn't want another 5-round fight. Because if you're the main event, it has to be a 5-round fight.
Well, if you don't want a 5-round fight, get it done in 3.
He wanted a 3. He says training for 5-round fights for the last however many years has put a toll on his body, and he needs to just have a 3-round fight. We've known this for a long time. Aldo's cardio is not that great at 5 rounds. Usually the 4th or 5th round, he definitely slowed the fuck down, even all the times that he held the belt.
Well, let me channel my inner fat armchair guy. Get it done in the 1st round. Fucking knock him out.
Knock him out.
Knock him out.
So who you picking? Anybody on there that you like or favor?
Like I said, I'll take Renato. I think I'll take Marlon, Bronx, and the girl with 3 names.
What about Maya versus Good?
I don't have a horse in that race.
I'm gonna go Aldo Morales.
I think Maya's spirits are kind of broken.
I'll go Aldo. I'll go Morales, Aldo, Maya, Bronx, Ledette, and Souza on the main card.
I'm gonna take Johnny Walker.
You're gonna take Johnny Walker?
Johnny Walker.
Go take Johnny Walker.
Yeah.
And then that's it. That's what we got going on for this week.
It's a quick week.
It's a quick week, but we covered a lot. There's a lot of things that were happening.
I feel like there was a lot more talked about this week, but maybe it was just one thing was talked about.
Nevada State Athletic Commission was talked about a lot, and everything that encompassed that. And of course, everyone's a little, well, I don't think, or what I think, or you think.
Yeah, and again, we're not trying to bullshit you or put in our opinion. So even though it was talked out about a lot, I think we just broke down the actual facts of the matter.
I mean, in my opinion, it's bullshit that Conor McGregor does not get fined as much as Khabib. Or
no, I think that's a fact.
Khabib should be fined the same amount as Conor McGregor. That's my opinion.
No, I think if anybody...
I think it's a lot of people's opinion, but that's an opinion.
Right, and in my opinion, I think if anybody deserved to be more or have more time, I don't think the money thing is the issue to me. I think it's the time. I think he should have got a 1-year suspension, especially after the bus incident, jumping into Bellator. I understand it didn't happen in the UFC, but these are fucking things that happen that we all know about as fans.
And they need to look into.
Right.
They need to consider.
Right. When you go to court, there's this thing called character.
Yep.
They look into your character, and they use your character.
Just like the guy that got fucking arrested for robbing the bank. They tried to use that he was cheating on the scale doing 1 foot to show that his character was a liar.
Right. Right. See?
Even though it had nothing to do with the robbing the bank.
No, but that's how...
Hey, he came on weight robbing that bank, I'll tell you that. Came on some weight.
He robbed the bank on 1 foot. You only give him half the time. And he just had not even a whole bullet. It was just a casing.
Yeah.
So.
He had a gun, it was just empty.
Yeah.
Anyway, pick yourself up a shirt like Ashley Evans Smith did over here, over at shirtsicle.com/STMMA. You pick those up. We got our Pride Style shirt. We got our original shirt. You could always go over to My MMA News for the the daily breakdown of everything that's happening. Usually a lot of places where we get our news from. We talk about on the show if you need to get ahead of it. Otherwise, we will always break it down for you once a week here at the SinCal studio from SinCal Industries. Right?
Yeah, go to Walkie Craft. Check out your Walkie Craft. Dependable Solutions. If you do business with credit card, call Dependable Solutions or look them up right here. They're on the screen right now. Check it out. There you go. So there we are.
That's it. Yeah. Have a good night at the fights.
We're not going to be there this time.
Were we there ever? One time.